Okay, pre-algebra 1-2, variables and expressions. Very similar to yesterday, just a couple of small differences. We're going to be focusing on some x and y, maybe some z substitution today, but we are still going to talk about variables. I am a sound speller, so variables and expression. So I hope that the first cast was good for you. We'll be discussing it in class today, and this one will be for tomorrow. When I look at variables, it's something that's unknown to me. We use x's and y's. Let's go ahead and take a look at an example. If I had something to the effect of, let's go x plus 5. Let's start with an example here. X plus 5. And then follow that with subtracting a y. And finding out what that equals. Now, obviously, you're going to say, well, I don't know what x and y are. In the case of tomorrow's classwork, they're going to give you the x values. So in this case, let's say that x equals 16, and let's say that y equals 18. One of the most commonly used math tools is substitution. They're going to give you an x and a y, but they're going to ask you to substitute a value in for it. So everywhere I see x, I'm going to substitute 16. I'm going to leave my 5. And everywhere I see a y, I'm going to substitute 18. Now, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally would be important here if I had a lot of multiplication in parentheses, which we'll get to in just a little bit. But because it's just addition and subtraction, I'm going to do those together. Remember that you need to go from left to right. So go ahead and take the 16 plus the 5, giving us 21. We're going to have 21 minus 18 for a final answer of 3. Now that's a good starting point for some substitution of the variables and solving the expression. Going to get a little more difficult. We gotta crawl before we walk, and then we have to walk before we run. But this is a good start for variables and expressions. Let's move on to our second example. Second example, a little different look. Everybody loves fractions. I know that's one of your favorite things to do. So I'm going to go ahead and perform a fraction expression. In this case, our s is going to be equal to 5, and our t is going to be equal to 8. Again, these are examples you can find in the book if you're following along. This is example number 3 on page 13. I need to ask myself, what do I have here? I've got two variables next to each other. I've got a fraction with a denominator over 20. Anytime I see two things together, two variables together, with nothing in between them, that signifies multiplication. So the top really tells me s times t, and then my fraction tells me I'm going to take that value and I'm going to divide it by 20. If you want to rewrite it a little different way, you could have s times t divided by 20. These are both equivalent. They're the same thing. I want to get rid of that x. I'm just going to use a dot for multiplication. I don't want too many variables looking too confusing there. So now I substitute. I'm going to have 5 times 8 divided by 20. 5 times 8 is going to give me 40. And 40 divided by 20 is going to give me my final answer of 2. Right, 40 divided by 20, final answer of 2. Let's look at one more example and then we'll be done for today. Or tonight. I'm learning this. This will be it for you tonight to watch. Hopefully we can keep the cast down to less than 10 minutes. Let's go with something. Oh, I don't like that. Finger got too close. Something like that. 45 minus BC all over 2. B in this case is going to be equal to 4, and C is going to be equal to 11. So just like the one before, the BC up at the top means multiplication. So I'm going to have 45 minus, on the top of the fraction, I'm going to have 4. I'm getting a little touchy on this board. I'm going to have 4 times 11 all over 2, or 4 times 11 divided by 2. 4 times 11 is going to give me 44, so I'm going to have 45 minus 44 divided by 2. Now, ask yourself, what is 44 divided by 2? And I'll give you a couple of seconds. Think about that. 44 divided by 2. If you need to hand write it out, no problem. 2 goes into the 4 twice. Bring down your 4. 2 goes into that 4 twice. So that's going to give me 45 minus 22. 45 minus 22 is going to give me a final answer of 23. In a nutshell, folks, that is it for the evening. Hope you enjoyed. See you in class in the morning.